Hello, everyone. I just wanted to record this quick disclaimer, if you will. As is always the case when you record video and you watch the playback and the editing process, sometimes you find things that you don't like and things that are inaccurate. So in this video, I refer to in the original recording, I referred to the MCU's phases 1 through 3 as just phases 1 and 2. So I went back and tried to clean it up as best I could, but in general, throughout this video, when I'm referring to phases 1 and 2, I'm actually referring to phases 1, 2, and 3 because Avengers Endgame and the movies that came out shortly before that one, those were in phase 3. So I just wanted to make this quick disclaimer. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar, and this is Big Discussions 76, Entertainment and Media. First of all, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. If you want to donate something to the channel, that information is below in the description box. And also, please consider joining the Big Words LLC Newsletter. In addition to being a YouTube content creator, I'm also a writer with 2 blogs and a book project in process. Well, I wanted to come back with another video thinking about and discussing what was good about phases 1 and 2 of the MCU. This was originally going to be a long video, but I heard my brother Amahl's voice saying, hey bro, this can be several shorter videos. Speaking of which, thank you for those of you who watched my video regarding Tony and Bruce's science projects. I also have a science and technology YouTube channel. That information is below this video and below that video if you've watched it. And speaking of my brother Amahl Dunbar, I showed his logo in the last video. I'm going to show it again now. My brother does a lot of visual effects, and he's very talented in all of the little tricks regarding visual effects and that aspect of content creation. He's taught me a lot. He has his own channel. I'm going to leave that below in the description box. I think he sells some of his services as well. So his channel is going to be below in the description box in addition to all of my stuff. And I just wanted to say that. So with that, let's talk about what was good about the storytelling in phases 1 and 2 of the MCU. So what was good about the storytelling? I mentioned my brother who does visual effects, and it always astounds me when we watch movies how he can break down the visual effects, and he can identify what was wrong or what was good quality. Shout out to Artisan MC. He did a lot of talking about the visual effects or the poor visual effects in She-Hulk. A lot of people talked about that. I don't have a trained eye for those things, but again, as an aspiring writer, I'm focused on the story. I'm focused on the journey. I'm focused on where the writers are taking us. And I thought that the writing in phases 1 and 2 of the MCU was stellar, especially the Avengers movies. So what I liked about what they did is that they gave us individual stories. I thought they very eloquently set up the individual characters in their own movies. Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and then they gave us some of the smaller characters with them. Rhodey, Bucky, Black Widow, Hawkeye, I'm drawing a blank there, Clint Barton, Hawkeye, and then they put them all together gradually in the same movie. In the first Avengers movie, of course, Nick Fury made appearances in all and most of those in some way. And Dr. Selvig made appearances in some of those, and then Tony showed up at the end of the Edward Norton Hulk movie. So they gave us these individual characters, they gave us these individual stories, and then they eloquently stitched them together to give us the that first Avengers movie. They also gave us, as they put the team together, they also let us know that there was a bad guy out there, a villain who was orchestrating everything behind the scenes and executing his own plan. Of course, we know that was Thanos and his quest to gather all 6 Infinity Stones so he could snap half of existence away. So you had your good guys, and then you had your bad guy working behind the scenes, and I thought that's what you want. That's what you want out of a comic book. That's what you want out of a story. You want elemental stories of good and evil, not necessarily social commentary telling us what to think and telling us how to think. You can weave some of that in, but the most important thing is, in my opinion, is staying true to the source material and telling us a good story about good versus evil, the good guys versus the bad guys, the heroes versus the villains. That's what I want to see, and I'm pretty sure most of the comic book fans and the fanboys and fangirls, that's what they want to see. Now, I'm going to go back to the individual story threads to wrap this up. Now, as you know, the leaders of the Avengers, at least that iteration of it, were Steve Rogers and Tony Stark, who were Captain America and Iron Man. I think that those were the main story threads throughout those 4 movies. You know, we saw Cap. He was a little, basically a pipsqueak in the 1930s. He took the super soldier serum. He went into cryostasis. He lost the love of his life, Peggy Carter. He was found and reintroduced into the modern world, and he became one of the leaders of the Avengers. He discovered that his best friend Bucky was back alive, and throughout the entire arc, he was reconciling losing that love with Peggy, and then he had kind of come to grips with the fact that he would never have that love back up until the events of Avengers Endgame, where he was able to use the quantum tunnel to go back and be with her. So we saw an evolution with him. The same is true for Tony Stark. He started off as this billionaire playboy philanthropist, as he described himself to Cap in the first Avengers movie when they butted heads for the first time. And then gradually we saw him start to become a team player. Cap challenged him in the first movie to make the sacrifice play. He made the sacrifice play at the end of that movie, and he made the sacrifice play several times throughout the Avengers movies. And then the billionaire playboy philanthropist eventually became a family man. So we saw both of those characters grow and evolve and change over time, and I think that led to investing in the characters and not wanting to see them go away and not wanting to see them die. Now, the other characters had stories and arcs as well, but Captain America's and Iron Man's, those were the main arcs. Now, one of the more powerful things they did was they broke the team up in Captain America Civil War. So they put the team together they formed all these friendships and alliances, and then they, staying true to the source material, they pit the two leaders against each other, which caused everyone else, minus Thor and Hulk, to choose sides. And in doing so, you had the team now fighting itself. And I thought that was significant because I hadn't really seen something like that before. And it wasn't, I mean, you knew they were going to get back together at some point, but it wasn't quite clear. And again, having become emotionally invested in the characters, that was quite a ride to go on. And then seeing in Avengers Infinity War, seeing Tony's trepidation in reaching back out to Cap, Steve Rogers, and saying, hey, we need to come together again. I need your help. We need to squash what we went through because there's a bigger threat. I thought that was powerful, and I thought it was powerful in Avengers Endgame when Tony came up with the time travel solution, and then when he showed up to the facility, the Avengers facility, with the new shield and with the new time travel invention. I thought that was powerful to see him reconcile with Steve. For me, that was very, very powerful. With Wakanda Forever being released shortly, I think and I'm going to make a video on this, I think that's something a lot of people are disappointed about, is that we didn't get to see T'Challa continue his arc. That was his father died. He had to take the mantle of the Black Panther, and there was a passing of the torch, father-son type of thing that was going on there. But there were some arcs that were smaller and shorter lived. And in general, the movies, they viewed like comic books. And one of their hallmarks was the Easter eggs, the little teasers they gave us at the end. All of us who invested in the MCU, we learned to stay throughout the credits to the very end to see the 1 to 2 Easter eggs that they would leave for us, so that we'd have some clue as to what was coming next and who was coming next. So the movies very much viewed like comic books. And that's what I thought was good about phases 1, 2, and 3 of the MCU. All the movies within those 3 phases weren't perfect, but in general, they introduced the characters. They casted the characters well, which I'll talk about in another video. But they created the team. They broke the team apart and they put the team back together. The team had real world and they had real human issues. You had a bad guy, an overarching bad guy, who was working his plan in the background, and it was ultimately a story of good guys versus bad guys. And I think that's what we fans, those of us who collected comic books and those of us who enjoyed the first 3 phases, I think that's what we were looking for. And they've done some different things with everything after phase 3. Now, aside from the Eternals, which many of us thought was a flop as well, we really haven't seen a group movie, so we don't really know what's going to happen when they put all of these characters that are still in play. We don't really know what's going to happen when they put all of those characters together. So in their defense, we don't know. But I'm just saying that from what they've shown us after phase 3, what they've done after phase 3 has not stood up to phases 1, 2, and 3. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below about what I've said and about the writing and the storytelling in phases 1 and 2. Please like, share, and subscribe if you want to donate something to the channel. That information is below in the description box as well. And please consider joining the Big Words LLC newsletter as well. So with that, everyone, I am going to end this video. Stay safe out there, and as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.